Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the explosive confrontations, hidden truths bubbling to the surface, and life-altering revelations set to shake Port Charles on Wednesday, October 8th. In the heart of Bobby's cozy establishment, Jocelyn Jack steps through the door, her face etched with the weariness of a globe-trotting ordeal that no one could have anticipated. Fresh off her daring escape and subsequent adventures in Australia alongside Dex, whom everyone still whispers about as S. Vaughn in hushed tones, she's barely had time to catch her breath before plunging back into the familiar chaos of home. The air is thick with the scent of fresh coffee and lingering tension as she spots her mother, Carly Spencer, deep in conversation with the enigmatic Jack Brennan, whose shadowy past seems to cast a longer shadow with every passing day. Their discussion halts abruptly as Jocelyn approaches, her eyes scanning the room for any sign of normalcy after the Croatian nightmare that nearly claimed her life. Jack excuses himself with a nod that's equal parts charm and caution, leaving Carly to envelop her daughter in a fierce hug that speaks volumes about the fears she's buried deep. But the reunion is short-lived. Britt Westburn bursts in like a storm cloud, her sharp wit masking the exhaustion from her own tangled web of secrets. Britt launches into a tirade about the abysmal water pressure in her room, the very one that once belonged to Jason Morgan, a space now haunted by ghosts of loyalty and loss. Carly counters with a pointed reminder about the overdue rent, her businesswoman instincts kicking in amid the personal drama, while Jocelyn stands awkwardly on the sidelines, the weight of unspoken questions hanging between her and Britt like a fragile thread. Their exchange escalates into a charged standoff. With Britt's eyes flashing defiance, she recalls the promises made to Brennan about keeping Carly's undercover agent role under wraps, no easy feat in a town where secrets travel faster than gossip. Yet, in a pivotal moment that could redefine alliances, Britt declares with uncharacteristic vulnerability that it's time for everything to come out in the open. Imagine the ripple effects. Carly's double life exposed, Jocelyn grappling with loyalties torn between family and friends, and Britt finally shedding the isolation that's defined her since her return to Port Charles. This confession, in just words, it's a catalyst, potentially unraveling the fragile peace they've all clung to amid threats from afar. Shifting scenes to the opulent Quartermain mansion, where the air crackles with familial discord, Jason Morgan lingers in the shadows alongside Michael Corinthos, his presence a silent anchor amid the brewing storm. Ned and Olivia Quartermain exchange uneasy glances as Tracy Quartermain erupts like a volcano at the conclusion of Monica Quartermain's while reading. The bombshell, the sprawling estate, a symbol of Quartermain legacy for generations, has been bequeathed to the mysterious Veronica Barda, name that sends shockwaves through the room, evoking whispers of ulterior motives and forgotten connections. Tracy, her face a mask of fury and disbelief, rounds on Alexis Davis, Monica's trusted executor, with a venomous accusation, "She get this house over my dead body." The room falls silent as Tracy paces, her mind racing through scenarios of forgery and manipulation, perhaps a coerced signature in Monica's final days, or an outsider like Veronica pulling strings from the shadows of ELQ's corporate battles. How will Tracy mount her challenge? She might rally old allies, dig into Veronica's enigmatic background, rumors swirl of her ties to international intrigue, or even a hidden Quartermain bloodline, and launch a legal offensive that exposes long-buried family skeletons. This inheritance twist not only threatens Tracy's iron grip, but could fracture the Quartermains further, pitting greed against grief in a battle that's as personal as it is petty. Meanwhile, in a tender yet tense corner of the Scorpio-Drake household, young Emma Scorpio-Drake seeks solace in a heartfelt granddaughter-to-grandma chat with the ever-resilient Anna Devane. Emma's eyes, usually sparkling with youthful determination, now brim with unshed tears as she confesses to Anna that she's utterly ruined everything. Anna, her expression a blend of maternal sympathy and seasoned concern, reaches out, wondering if this stems from Emma's academic pressures, those grueling classes at the university where distractions abound, or her forbidden flirtation with Professor Henry Dalton. a man Anna has warned against from the start, fearing his influence could derail Emma's bright future. Or could it be the budding romance with Gio Palmieri, whose recent first kiss under the stars left Emma's heart racing but her mind in turmoil? Picture Emma replaying the moment, the electric spark, the promise of something real amid Port Charles' endless drama, now overshadowed by doubts. Anna listens intently, drawing from her own history of espionage and heartbreak to offer guidance, perhaps sharing a story from her WSB days about mistimed confessions, leading to greater strengths. This vulnerable exchange highlights Emma's growth, transforming her from the steadfast teen into a young woman navigating love's complexities, with Anna's wisdom potentially steering her toward clarity before irreparable damage sets in. Across town at the sweat-soaked confines of Volanino's gym, Gio Palmieri wipes the perspiration from his brow, his muscular frame tense with resolve as he confides in a trusted figure, most likely his grandfather, Sonny Corinthos, that he desperately needs a favor. The gym's rhythmic thuds of punching bags provide a gritty backdrop to this intimate plea, where Gio's voice drops low, hinting at layers beneath his tough exterior. Is this request rooted in personal struggles, like scraping together funds for a fresh start, or tied to his deepening bond with Emma, where every stolen glance feels like a risk worth taking? Gio's contemplation leads to a monumental decision, one that could reshape his path, envisioning a life independent of Anna's watchful home, perhaps leasing a modest apartment overlooking the harbor where he and Emma could build their own sanctuary away from prying eyes and family expectations. If Emma, ever the eavesdropper in moments of high emotion, caught a snippet of Gio's phone call about getting out of there, her imagination might twist it into betrayal, a hasty exit from their relationship, or worse, entanglement in Sonny's underworld dealings. This misunderstanding adds a layer of poignant drama, underscoring how fragile trust can be when words are snatched out of context in Port Charles' web of whispers. Sonny, in alone in the gym's dimly lit corners, the acting district attorney, Justine Turner, strides in with purposeful steps, her sharp suit a stark contrast to the casual workout attire around her. She wastes no time confronting Sonny over a favor he's extended, her tone laced with suspicion as she accuses him of harboring an ulterior agenda. As always, Justine's refusal to divulge details paints her as a formidable foe, guarding prosecutorial secrets like a vault. Could Sonny be angling for intel on an upcoming trial, one that ensnares Michael Corinthos in corporate espionage or ELQ sabotage? The tension builds as Sonny's charm meets Justine's steel, hinting at a high-stakes game where alliances shift and justice hangs in the balance, potentially dragging the Corinthos empire into the courtroom spotlight once more. Finally, in the sterile yet comforting confines of General Hospital, Elizabeth Baldwin's quick reflexes save the day when Portia Robinson sways precariously, her hand clutching the desk as dizziness threatens to pull her under. Elizabeth, ever the dedicated nurse with a healer's intuition honed from years of bedside vigils, swiftly pulls up a chair and steadies Portia, her voice calm amid the rising concern. Portia's pallor and unsteady breath signal something amiss, perhaps the cumulative stress of her surgical duties, family upheavals with Curtis, and the lingering shadow of past medical deceptions, or could it be the subtle nausea and fatigue pointing to an unexpected twist in her life? As Elizabeth runs through a series of gentle questions, gauging symptoms with professional precision, she poses the life-altering query, is there any possibility you could be pregnant? Portia's eyes widen in shock, the words hanging in the air like a thunderclap, forcing her to confront the chaos this revelation would unleash. Imagine the implications: a new baby amid her reconciliation with Curtis, challenges to her career at the hospital, and ripples through the Robinson family dynamics that have only just begun to stabilize. This potential pregnancy isn't merely news. It's a seismic shift, promising joy intertwined with the uncertainties that define Port Charles, where every blessing comes wrapped in drama. Next, we will learn about the explosive secrets brewing in Port Charles that could shatter the Jacks family forever. In the shadowy underbelly of this iconic town, where alliances shift like sand and hidden truths simmer just below the surface, Jocelyn Joss Jacks finds herself at the epicenter of a storm she never saw coming. As the latest episode previews tease, Joss is on the verge of a heartfelt confession to a trusted confidant, admitting that she's terrified he won't be able to hold onto the explosive secret she's entrusted to him much longer. Our sources point strongly to Jason Morgan as that he, the enigmatic enforcer whose code of silence has been legendary, but now faces an impossible test, with Joss's clandestine world colliding head-on with his deepest loyalties. This isn't just any secret, it's Joss's undercover role as a WSB agent, a high-stakes position she was handpicked for by the cunning Jack Brennan, all without a whisper to her fiercely protective mother, Carly Spencer. Imagine the tension. Joss, the young firebrand who's always balanced college life with family drama, now juggling covert operations that demand out discretion, while her boss Jack has the audacity to romance the very woman who would implode if she knew. When this bombshell inevitably erupts, the fallout promises to be cataclysmic, with questions swirling about who will bear the brunt of Carly's unbridled fury, her rebellious daughter, the manipulative recruiter, or the man who's been her rock through countless crises. The roots of Joss's mounting paranoia trace back to a pulse-pounding sequence during the daring Five Poppies rescue mission, where fate twisted in ways no one anticipated. Britt Westburn, ever the wild card with her medical expertise and tangled past, placed that frantic call to Jason, drawing him into the fray just as Joss's cover nearly blew wide open. In the heat of the operation, complete with narrow escapes through fog-shrouded warehouses and encrypted comms buzzing with urgency, Jason caught a glimpse of Joss in action, her poised demeanor and tactical precision revealing a side of her far removed from the carefree student everyone knows. She pulled him aside in the aftermath, her eyes wide with desperation. Pleading for his silence, she explained the gravity of her recruitment. Jack had spotted her potential during a chance encounter at a charity event, praising her sharp instincts and unyielding bravery, qualities honed from years of navigating poor Charles's treacherous social minefield. But now, with Jason in the know, Joss senses the walls closing in. Her Monday preview confession underscores a growing doubt that his promise to keep quiet will hold, especially as memories of past missions haunt her, ones involving stackouts on shady arms dealers or decoding messages from international spies that left her questioning if this life is worth the isolation. Jason's storied allegiance to Carly, forged in fires of shared hardships like business takeovers and life-threatening vendettas, positions him as an unpredictable force. One wrong move, and he might prioritize protecting his old friend over shielding Joss's budding career. Delve deeper into the web of complications, and it's clear Joss's double life as a spy is a powder keg waiting for a spark, threatening to engulf her closest relationships in flames. Picture the ripple effects. If Jason cracks under the pressure, word could spread like wildfire to Trina Robinson, Joss's ride-or-die best friend, who's already noticed her unexplained absences and cryptic phone calls late at night, or to Michael Corinthos, her half-brother whose protective instincts would kick into overdrive, potentially launching his own investigation that uncovers even more layers. Trina, with her artistic soul and loyalty tested through art gallery scandals and romantic entanglements, might feel personally slighted by the secrecy, wondering why Joss didn't loop her in on such a thrilling yet perilous path. Michael, ever the family sentinel amid his own corporate battles at ELQ, could view this as a direct threat to the Corinthos Jax clan, rallying forces to pull Joss out before she gets into deep. Fans are buzzing with speculation that Joss's anxiety could hit a fever pitch if Carly starts piecing together the puzzle from subtle clues like Joss's sudden interest in international news, or the high-tech gadgets tucked away in her dorm room forcing a premature showdown that upends everything. Adding fuel to the fire, we've imagined scenarios where Joss's WSB assignments bleed into everyday life, such as decoding a tip about a local threat that hits too close to home, heightening her fear that one slip could endanger not just her, but those she loves most. Carly Spencer's reaction looms as the volcanic core of this saga, a woman whose temper has toppled empires and severed ties without remorse. now facing the ultimate betrayal from within her own bloodline, discovering that Jack Brennan, the suave operative who's charmed his way into her heart with late-night strategy sessions and stolen kisses at the Metro Court, secretly enlisted her daughter for dangerous fieldwork, would ignite a rage like no other. Picture Carly storming WSB headquarters, demanding answers while her mind races with what-ifs about near misses Joss might have endured. We've expanded on this by envisioning Jack's recruitment pitch, a clandestine meeting in a dimly lit cafe, where he dazzled Joss with tales of global intrigue and her untapped heroism, but omitted the personal entanglements that would make it all so messy. Carly's heartbreak wouldn't stop at Jack. Learning Joss had this from her, choosing shadows over sunlight, would cut deeper than any knife, evoking memories of their own mother-daughter clashes over boys and ambitions, now amplified into a chasm of distrust. This could unravel their bond in profound ways, late-night arguments echoing through the mansion, tears over lost trust, and Carly's resolve to shield Joss from further harm, even if it means cutting off Jack cold. Yet, in a twist of irony, Carly's own history of bending rules for survival might offer a sliver of understanding, though not enough to douse the flames of her fury. Jason Morgan's precarious position adds another layer of heartbreak to this unfolding drama. A man whose moral compass has always pointed toward those he holds dear, now torn between oaths old and new. By withholding the truth, he's complicit in a lie that could erode the foundation of his bond with Carly, the woman who stood by him through assassinations, comas, and courtroom battles. Imagine the quiet dinners turning tense, her probing questions met with evasive glances that screamed deception. If he chooses to confess first, it might redeem him in her eyes, positioning him as the loyal guardian who prioritized her pain, but at the cost of incinerating Joss's dreams and Jack's credibility. Fans have theorized this could lead to Jason mentoring Joss in secret, teaching her evasion tactics from his own playbook to salvage her role. Conversely, staying silent by his fragile time, allowing Joss to navigate one more mission, perhaps infiltrating a counterfeit ring tied to Port Charles's underworld, but risks exposure if Carly uncovers it through her network of informants. Social media ablaze with debates. One faction insists Jack's deception seals his doom, with Carly wielding her influence to blacklist him from high society circles, while another argues Joss's omission wounds deepest, fracturing a relationship built on fierce advocacy and shared resilience. We've invented a fan-favorite angle where Jason's internal conflict manifests in vivid flashbacks to his days with Sam McCall, weighing silence against the greater good, ultimately humanizing his dilemma. At the heart of the chaos lies the awkward tango between Joss's professional world and her personal one, where Jack Brennan's dual role as boss and Carly's paramour turns every interaction into a minefield of potential disaster. What started as a professional admiration, Jack spotting Joss's poise during a tense family gathering, perhaps overhearing her quick thinking in a debate about local politics, has evolved into a full-blown ethical quagmire, with Joss second-guessing orders that feel too close to home. If Carly confronts Jack, the interrogation could be brutal, accusations flying over coffee at the Floating Rib, revelations about hidden files, and late-night briefings that expose how deeply he's woven Joss into his operations. This might jeopardize Joss's standing in the WSB, forcing her to prove her worth through increasingly risky assignments, like tailing a suspect through the docks under moonlit skies, all while dodging questions from her mom about her new job. Safety becomes paramount. One imagined peril involves a botched op where Joss narrowly escapes an ambush, her thoughts flashing to Carly's worried texts, amplifying the stakes. Anna Devane, the seasoned spy with her own Port Charles ties, could emerge as an unlikely ally or informant, piecing together clues from WSB chatter and alerting Carly if loyalties shift. Envision Anna's knowing smirk during a casual encounter, hinting at secrets without spilling them outright. As the layers peel back, fans are left pondering Joss's path forward in this labyrinth of deceit. Will she abandon the WSB's adrenaline-fueled allure to mend her family's fractures, trading spy gadgets for campus normalcy and heartfelt apologies over family dinners? Or will she dig in deeper, embracing the danger as a rite of passage, perhaps recruiting Trina for low-level support to share the burden and strengthen their friendship amid the thrill. Quitting might seem tempting after a close call, like decoding a threat that implicates a Quartermain rival, but doubling down could propel her into legendary status, with Jack grooming her as his protege despite the personal costs. Some enthusiasts crave a prolonged build-up, stretching this intrigue across seasons with red herrings like false confessions or decoy missions that keep viewers hooked, culminating in a reveal so meticulously crafted it's destined to be iconic. Picture the slow burn, Joss mastering disguises inspired by classic espionage tales, her confidence growing even as paranoia nips at her heels, all while Carly's suspicions simmer without boiling over. Ultimately, the question hangs heavy in the air: will Jason's divided heart compel him to shatter his vow, confessing to Carly in a rain-soaked confrontation that echoes their storied past? Or will Joss seize the reins, beating him to the revelation in a bid to control the narrative and redefine her future on her terms?